borders you see today are artificial borders imposed on us by colonizers who went into some conference and decided to divide Africa amongst themselves, that the British will control here, that the French will control there, that the ones of Portugal, the Portuguese, will take this portion. So, and the Spanish will take this portion. Divided Africa, not because they had the interest of Africa at heart, but they were pursuing their own colonial conquest of Africa. Today, we want to worship the borders. We call people Makwerekwere. We call people Zimbabweans. We call people Mashangane, because we were told by our own colonizers that we must not love one another. We must kill each other because this one comes from that border. Those are not our borders. They are the borders of the colonizers. We are one thing. Africa is not a continent per se. It is a country. We are one big family called Africa. They divided us because they know that the unity of Africans is a threat to Europeans. But the day we are united, all of this suffering will come to an end. Because the unity of Africa means the land in the hands of Africans. The unity of Africa means the mines in the hands of Africans, the banks in the hands of Africans, that every strategic sector of the economy must be in the hands of the people. So today, many of you here are not working. And you are unemployed, not because you are not educated. You are unemployed because you don't have the land. If you look at Amapunu, when their children don't go to school, they are never said they are unemployed. Even illiterate white kids, they are not unemployed. Why? Basebenza umhlaba, because they've got the land. If you had the land here in Georgia, I don't know why this place called George. It must be changed the name so that we have a proper name, which is reflective of African people. If you had the land here, because the land here in Georgia is so beautiful. If you had the land, you are not going to be in this rally. You will be working your land, producing, feeding yourself and feeding nations of the world out of your sweat and your hard work. There is no person with the land who is unemployed. There is no person with the land who wants an RDP house. Doing what with RDP house? Because you've got the land, you work on it, you build yourself a beautiful house which will accommodate all our many children. Because we've got many children. We don't want RDP house. We want proper houses which will accommodate all our children so that they can have their dignity back. So, we must fight for the return of the land without compensation. The land audit in South Africa shows that 72% of the land is owned by white minorities. We must change that. 15% by the colored community. 5% by Indian community, and only 4% by Africans who are the majority of South Africans. We must change that. 72% must be Africans. And then 15% can remain in colours. And then 5% Indians and 4% whites. There's no problem. Because the land ownership must be a reflection of the demographics of South Africa. If you are few, you must own a smaller portion of the land. The majority must own the bigger portion of the land. Then there will be peace in South Africa. So when we say to the people of South Africa, occupy the land, we don't say do an illegal thing. It is a right thing to do because it is your land. How do you say we are wrong by asking people to go and occupy what is rightfully belonging to them? It is your property. I can't say to you, go and occupy your house, and I'm told I'm doing a wrong thing. The land belongs to you. You must continue to occupy it. It's your land. And never get tired because the DA is in power here in George. They shoot at people who are occupying the land. They are
to make us hate each other, to let us not to know the real value of our resources, to let us to see another person from another country in your country as a foreigner. All this was the first mission to make us divided. So what Julius Malema spoke, I really appreciate his words. So brothers and sisters in the continent and those who are in the abroad, let us know your thoughts on the comment section. This is Facts About Africa, the African channel, where we share thoughts and changing the narrative of Mother Africa.